Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 39. Before we get started, I just want to say that I'm sorry for missing the video this Friday. I was so engrossed in a playthrough of Captain of Industry, that I only realized that I should have been working on a video when it was already too late, so I gave myself a day off. Time really does disappear when I get too deep into the problem solving and industrial designs of that game, and I got carried away. Sorry about that. Anyways, today we will continue building the new construction hub, and mostly try to waste some time by fiddling with stuff around the original area while we wait. Before we go too far into the episode, we better make sure we have the best possible fleet of vehicles working on the job. Let's start by replacing the old concrete mixers. This new one has the same capacity as the old, but can go at a much faster speed. It won't be relevant until we upgrade the entire stretch of the highway, but at least it will have an advantage until it reaches the foot of the mountain. With the 4 other open-hull trucks babysitting the mechanisms at the outpost, we only had 2 of them delivering stuff until now. We better fix that quick. It seems the Kamaz has been dethroned while I wasn't looking. This RMD has a slightly better cargo capacity. Although, it will end up having a small flaw, namely the inability to carry the bulldozers or excavators we currently use. But that will be an easy fix. And that fix will be these T813s. They are more than capable of doing that job. I was tempted to replace the vehicles in the distribution office too, but I'll let them be for now. And yeah, I did notice the forest has been pretty much completely used up. Maybe we should stop exporting boards, it will just end up being a liability for very little profit. What we really needed to take care of though was the distribution in Estergrad. The current fleet of trucks simply weren't good enough, so they had to be replaced. Doing it all at once was a bit of a gamble, since that would pretty much cut the shops off from all supplies for a little bit. But to do it efficiently would have required a lot of sitting and waiting, so for the sake of brevity, I did it in one go. Anyways, these new ones have a slightly smaller capacity, but a much better speed, and since they will be driving on asphalt for the most part, it should be a worthwhile investment. I tried to see if we could replace the freezer trucks too, but they are already using one of the faster models, and capacity is not the issue we are facing. As for the overcrowded bus station issue, let's add a couple more vehicles to one of the lines. I think the iron mine could use a few more workers. The old station seemed to be doing relatively okay these days. It could also use a few more buses overall, but it's not an emergency. More and more road segments are becoming available at the new hub. I really need to make sure to enable notifications, so I know when it's time to add the next one in line. Sadly, this bug texture isn't going away anytime soon. And sadly, we are going to add a couple more in this episode. I might need to give up on using these as temporary grass removers or measuring sticks. Also, it seems I accidentally used wooden rails at one of the arms of the intersection. Mass upgrading the rest seemed to show that I only did it with one segment. Alright, let's hide this thing as best we can. I still don't want any trees too close to the tracks though, so it won't be too effective, but it's better than nothing. Before we leave things to go about their merry ways, let's make sure the track layers actually get to work on everything they can reach currently. All the complaints seem to be rather localized in the town. Some of the houses have absolutely zero issues, while some of them right next door have a couple problems. We really need a second distribution center. It seems I still have the customs house assigned to the current DO center. Not really necessary anymore, but everything works okay right now, so I didn't want to disturb the delicate ecosystem. And I finally got around to replacing the forest. Selling all that processed lumber really gets rid of the surrounding forest. As I've said, I'm seriously considering the stopping of the exporting of boards. It seemed to create busy work for very little return. As usual, let's trim back the trees around the tracks. Thankfully we managed to catch the site in time, so there are still a couple trees left standing, and there are a lot of wood waiting for pickup. I don't think we will see any disruption in the actual production. Next, let's take care of this area. I've been meaning to lay down a pattern for it, but I kept being distracted. Yeah, this will do nicely. But I already told you that we will encounter the texture bug again today. I don't think it will be a surprise that this is where it will happen. Okay, this is getting out of hand at this point. If it's just the buses, this intersection is working perfectly fine, but add in the construction vehicles, and it's pandemonium. My first instinct was to add a traffic light. But for some reason, the vehicles just kept using the road signs instead. Oh right. There is no power in this corner of the island. The lights are all blank. Good thing we have a convenient transformer right at the other side of the bridge, so it will be a super easy fix. And just to be extra sure, I even gave this high priority. Now we just need to hook it up to the transformer. And that does it. Now we just need to wait a little, and then we can start messing with the traffic lights. For now, let's just keep using the old road sign arrangement. This footpath is not really necessary. The gravel roads will be enough for the workers to walk from the station to the plants. The next point on the list of housekeeping chores was all the road signs. I've been neglecting them for quite a while now, and we really need to add in as much as we can for smooth traffic flow. This will take a couple minutes, so if you'd like to skip this part, just jump to the time code that is on the screen right now. These bigger intersections have to be done by hand. The automatic system gets a bit confused about which roads should get priority. Okay, time to take care of that new bush divider pattern I laid out a little earlier in the episode. And there it is. The next bug texture. I'm quite bummed out about this. I can only hope this gets fixed in an update fairly soon. Anyways, time to place down the actual bushes. I think I might have been a bit too generous with this brush size. It's a bit too big. Let's take it down a notch. Not much I can do about the texture itself. At least it doesn't interfere with the bushes themselves, we can just place them over it. I'll just think of it as an old footpath that got abandoned, and is now getting reclaimed by nature. Unlike the asphalt at the railroad, this one at least kind of fits in thematically. Since I'm here, might as well take care of this small place too. The two ends of the roads are close to being connected. Once that is taken care of, only the buildings will be left. And this is where I discovered that the new open-hull trucks cannot carry the machinery, as it is too small. A bit of a shame, but not a big deal. First, let's just send them home to Kirkomov. As you can see, these six-wheelers are more than capable of this task, so it's a good thing I bought a few. Since they are busy bringing over the other machines, let's make sure we have them here instead, so we can use them to bring the local machines home when they are no longer needed here. Alright, we have one more running around delivering stuff. Let's see where it is. There, it's bringing in bricks. It only just set out on its journey, so instead of waiting for it to deliver its cargo, I just went and did something else. How about we take care of that traffic light, now that we have power in the area? The default setup gave me a two-step arrangement. That just created traffic conflicts. Since I'm not experienced with this too much, I just went with a four-step intersection, giving every incoming road their own priority access to it. In certain places, that 20-second timer might be a bit generous, but overall, it works okay. The meat deliveries are still an issue in this end of the island, so we better fix that. It's only a problem in one shop, so we only need to buy one more truck. Let's follow it to see how things go. The thing is, that it can carry 3 tons, but the shop only really consumes 1 ton by the time they make a single round trip. So, to ensure that other trucks can still access the shop to deliver the other goods, we cannot let these freezer trucks to fully unload. We just need to make sure that they keep their spacing along the route, and it should be just fine. That shop was the farthest away from the current distribution center, and the distance was just barely long enough to consume all meat by the time the truck make it back. So all other shops should be fine. Yeah, that 20 seconds is a bit too long. Let's try 15. Only 2 segments remain between the 2 ends of the main road going through the hub. Won't be long before they are connected up. And the buildings themselves are getting constructed at a steady pace. I wonder if we will end up building the structures or the rail tracks last. Speaking of the rail tracks, I did remove most of the nodes along the coastal ride in the last episode, but I bet there are a few that remains. And sure enough, there are more than a few. That should do it. The tunnels and bridges themselves supposed to be electrified already, so we only need to take care of the regular tracks themselves. Let's not forget to get rid of the dry dirt from this place. They serve their purpose. Let's see if we can rejuvenate the ground around these textures. That should help with the illusion a little. Well, not much luck, I'm afraid. Oh well, no big deal. Seems I missed this area too. Before I stop the recording, I really wanted to take care of something really important, and that would be a second distribution center for the town. We have one at the other end, so this seemed like the perfect place for the new one. Dealing with the tracks was a bit tricky though. As usual, I completely boxed myself in, so there was simply no way to build a flyover. I'm afraid we will have to stomach building a level crossing this time around. Yeah, here will be just fine. We only really need 3 more buildings. The warehouse, the freezer, and the distribution office. For the warehouse, I decided to use something new, so I got the set made by everyone's favorite mod creator, Rob. That's the freezer taken care of. I suppose we could squeeze in a gas station, just in case, but let's take care of the absolute necessities first. What we need now is a way into the rail network. I suppose using the distribution office's branch will do fine. I would still like to leave room for queuing, so I tried to build the switch as close to the crossing as possible. The other end will just use the RCO's branch. This does cut down on queuing a little bit, but this isn't a high traffic area, so it's not a big deal. I decided to just keep the traffic directions intact on the different lanes, so the station itself will be right-hand drive, like the rest of the network. If you remember, having a station crossing at both ends of the platforms can create unintended traffic issues. Since we are going to have a meat delivery train sitting in one of the platforms at all times, we just need to make sure to use the signals as waypoints, so it will occupy the one that is the most convenient for the other trains. Since those will most likely need to go back to the distribution office straight away, for maximum efficiency, they should enter from the east, since they will need to make a big detour if they try to enter from the west. All that's left is to place the distribution office now. Looks good to me. I'm a bit bummed about the level crossing, but hopefully the traffic will be light. We are really close to connecting the last remaining road segments now. I'm really hopeful we can finish building this place in the next episode. Let me quickly trim some of this grass back before I end the episode, making sure not to place any textures that I'm not prepared to keep around. As for the next one, as I've said, I'm really hopeful we can completely finish this place. Although now that I just added that new distribution center for Estergrad might slow things down, but I might just give that low priority. With the extra freezer truck added, the most critical issues are solved for the time being. But that won't last forever, so we will need that place built sooner or later. Once that's done, we can split the workload between it and the old distribution office. It did not escape my notice that the old one's trucks are way too busy these days, so they will also benefit from the new arrangement. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, then leaving a like and subscribing to the channel just might motivate me to make more. If you are more in the donating mood, you can find a link to my Ko-fi page in the description, where you can buy me a glass of water. I don't really drink coffee. Thank you for your support, and until next time, I will see you later.